Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Lauren.
I'm Matt.
I'm Sadie.
I'm Pop-Pop.
I'm Grammy.
And we're some of the Veggie Boys.
I'm Billy.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, please consider subscribing because we can grow a lot of stuff on the farm, but one thing we can't grow is this channel without your help. Welcome back, everyone. It's so nice to have you. Right now I'm up in the germination greenhouse looking at some stuff that we had recently seeded. The kohlrabi looks great. Right here in front of me I have some broccoli that's looking fantastic. And what I'm seeing is more and more broccoli actually popping out of the soil. We've got some beautiful germination rates on our late planting of cole crops. Boy, that just feels like a weird thing to say. Also, we've got some tomatoes seeded up here. There's not too many popping out of the soil. Right over here we've got a few here and there, but that's okay because we seeded these not that long ago. Temperatures haven't been perfect. We haven't had that much sunshine. Hopefully in the upcoming days that changes and we get some more seeds popping out of the soil. The past couple days on the farm have been relatively nice. We've had like scattered rainstorms here and there, but for the most part, it's been pretty sunny. That's been a big help for us here at the farm. The farm market has been, well, as you could imagine, just crazy because of all the plants. But when it's sunny, it encourages people to get out and it encourages people to buy more flowers and vegetable plants. Because of the nice weather, we've been running all over the place. And today we're actually getting to do something we wanted to do for the past week and a half. Now, what is that job? I can't show you just yet. We got to finish off these morning chores. Now that the baskets are watered in the greenhouse, that was the last thing I needed to do with morning chores. Dad ran off with the tractor to get hooked up to an important piece of equipment. I wasn't sure if he needed help getting hooked up, so we're gonna go find him. Well, I found what Dad got hooked up to, but I can't find Dad anywhere. And the fact that you can see the piece of equipment that he got hooked up to kind of gives you an idea of what we're gonna be working on today. For those of you that don't know what this piece of equipment is, it's called a water wheel transplanter. You can see on the piece of equipment, we have two large tanks. Those are being filled up with water as we speak. As we go out through the field with this piece of equipment, this metal drum with these spikes on it pokes holes in all that biodegradable mulch that we laid. That's what all those long black strips that we had laid out in the field were. That's biodegradable mulch, and its main ingredient is cornstarch. It's very, very neat. But what we're gonna be doing is going out through the field with this piece of equipment, punching holes into that biomulch. And here on the back, we have two people that are gonna be sitting. It's gonna be probably me and another person. We're gonna have our plants right here. And as we go out through the field and this metal drum spins, it's gonna be poking holes into that biomulch. It's gonna be injecting water into the holes. And then we just put our plants right into the holes that were made. We have planted in my lifetime countless plants with this special tool that's on the back of the tractor. We used to have an older one that was just one large tank. I do like the dual tanks because it allows the driver to see what's going on in the back. But this piece of equipment, it's one of the most valuable that we have on the farm, not because of the cost of it. It's relatively inexpensive compared to other equipment, but the job that this piece of equipment does, it cannot be replaced, and that's why it's so important to us. So yeah, there's the big job for the day. We are gonna be doing some transplanting. The first thing we've gotta do is get these tanks all filled up with water, get some plants put onto our racks, and then we're good to go. we're waiting for those tanks to fill up, Dad and I are just closing up some of these boxes. This is what a lot of the seed came in for some of the local farmers. This thing is completely filled with soybeans. That's a lot of beans, but they store a lot easier when you condense them. So that's what we're doing. We're condensing them. Tanks are now all filled up with water. Some people would say that the tanks may have been overfilled. Those people might be right. I think this is the last of them. We're going to be planting the pickling cucumbers first, and then we're going to be moving on to the regular, like, straight A cucumbers. Something that's of note is if we look at the bottom of the tray, you can see on a few of these cells, these plugs, that we actually have roots coming out of the bottom. So we just want to do a quick check on these. Yeah, we've got good root development, and we don't have more roots than we have soil, so these aren't root bound, which is very important for us. When we get these transplanted into the soil, they're gonna take right off. Now, Daniel was actually out doing some field prep, so we weren't 100% sure if he was gonna make it back in time. He just showed up, so we had to rearrange everything on the planter. Our two bottom rows, those are just pickling cucumbers, and then what we have on top is regular cucumbers. The only thing we have left in the greenhouse to plant is our zucchini, but we're not 100% sure if we're gonna have to come back for water. So we're just gonna leave that here for now. This piece of equipment is definitely gonna be used a lot in the upcoming weeks. We're gonna use this to plant all of our tomatoes, all of our peppers, and our other plantings of cucurbits.
Oh, I'm tired of waiting.
As you can see, I am now by myself. Someone just came for a load of manure back at the farm, so Daniel had to run back and take care of them. This gives me a good opportunity to talk about some of the stuff that we are looking for as we're planting. The number one thing is making sure that we get our plants pushed down into the soil far enough. Now, it isn't a problem this year because it's been relatively wet, so the soil is very soft. But in some years it can be quite difficult, especially when you're planting in an area that has a lot of rocks. It can hurt your fingers quite a bit. Thankfully, we had picked all the rocks out of this field. And another thing, because it's been relatively wet, the ground is nice and soft, making this job much easier. So what I'm doing is pulling the plants out of the tray. I am taking them and putting them into the hole, and then I'm pushing at the base of the roots to make sure that the roots get far enough down into the soil. Another thing that makes this a little easier on me is the fact that we are feeding water into each one of these holes. If we didn't have water in the hole, oh, this job would be much more difficult. We've had to do that in the past, but today we're fortunate enough to have plenty of water in the tanks. So it is a little more difficult when you don't have the water, but that's why this piece of equipment is literally called a water wheel transplanter. So that's what I'm doing. I am taking the plants at the base of the roots. I am pushing them into the soil, making sure that they are deep enough into the water and that the roots will be completely covered by the soil. And this gives each plant the best opportunity that it could have to grow. So that's what I'm focusing on right now, making sure that I'm pushing the plants deep enough into the soil, that I am not breaking the plants. And that's about it. It's a pretty much simple job beyond that. Not too much to worry about. It is a little more difficult when you're by yourself. You can go a little faster when you have someone in the seat next to you, but we're just gonna take our time and make sure we get everything planted correctly. I gotta swap out a tray. Just don't want it to hit me in the face when I throw it up there. There we go. We've now got our first row of crops in the soil that have been planted with the water wheel transplanter. I have to say it was pretty easy getting these transplanted. These plants are at like the perfect height for transplanting. They're a little on the smaller side. They're nice and stocky. They're not breaking in my hand. Usually we have to move the plants outside before we can transplant them, but with how cold it's been, these plants were hardened off inside the greenhouse, funny enough, which is very fortunate for us. One row down and lots more to go. Lots more to go. Since I'm by myself, I'm just gonna move a couple of these plants over to my side. Make it a little easier on me. Welcome back, Daniel. So what did you have to run back to the farm for?
I had to load somebody with manure.
Where'd they want it? Right in the truck bed?
Yep.
You give them a good scoop?
I gave him 4 scoops.
4 scoops? Oh my word. That's plenty of manure. We just got finished with all the pickling cucumbers, and now we've moved on to our straight 8 cucumbers. We literally just moved over to the straight 8. So you can see, like, basically everything planted behind me, that is all just pickling cucumbers. And that's good because we need a lot of pickling cucumbers. You've seen us over the years. We pick quite a few. Don't put us in the tree, Dad. Has Dad ever put you in the tree?
No, he has not.
I've been put in the tree. I've been put in the tree a few times. Oh, you were almost put in the tree there, Daniel.
No.
How are your plants going? Pretty easy? Tried to give them a drink before we left, but some of them aren't even dry. I must have missed a spot. Can you believe that?
No, you can't believe you missed
I can't believe I missed a spot either. Unbelievable. A question we get asked all the time is if we listen to music while we're working. Sometimes we do, but for the most part, we just have conversations. We like to talk to each other, and sometimes the conversations, they're pretty interesting. So I told them, you want to use 15, 15, 15, because that's what we're using out in the field. When it comes to fertilizer, I like to make sure that they understood not to apply it at that exact moment, but like in a week or two, they could have got started. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, well, I just didn't want them to burn the roots out on what they were transplanting.
No.
Because, you know how some people, they don't understand when they're starting a garden for the first time. I don't want them to burn the roots up, and then they'd feel bad about themselves.
And people think you need a lot of nitrogen. You don't need much nitrogen.
Yeah, well, a lot of nitrogen. It keeps your plants green, but it's not gonna 100% push new crop. It'll push new growth on your plant, but that won't always move over to blossoms, and it won't move over to new fruit. So I was just trying to help them out a little bit. They're first-time gardeners. You know how it is.
Yeah.
The worst thing about being a first-time gardener is if you mess up, then you never want to garden again. But that's okay, because everybody can mess up. That's what I told them. You got to do what you got to do.
Learn from your mistakes.
And then there are times where we have conversations where, you know, they're not that interesting. But we're family, and we have some crazy conversations sometimes. So, like, if you're getting a cheeseburger, would you rather, like, eat 2 cheeseburgers or, like, 1 double cheeseburger?
I mean, double cheeseburger, less bread.
Why not 2
Less
cheeseburgers?
carbs.
Why not 2 double cheeseburgers?
2 double cheeseburgers? See, that's just 4 cheeseburgers.
Is
See,
it?
less carbs.
But what if it's just double
The
patty
bread-
on 1 burger?
The bread is more carbs.
Well, I'm not eating a lot of carbs right now, Daniel.
That's why
Did
you
you
get
know
a double cheeseburger, not just 2 cheeseburgers.
Oh, I got you.
See,
So-
you're saving yourself.
I completely understand. Well, I'm making burgers later, so should I do a double cheeseburger or
I
a
want a
single?
triple.
You want a triple?
Mm-hmm.
I could do you. Daniel, that's our beef. That's our beef. I raised the beef that you're gonna eat later.
Raised it up out of the freezer.
I raised it up out of the freezer. I fed it grain. I'm so hungry for a burger right now. A lot of people would think when we work together as a family on the farm that eventually we'd run out of stuff to talk about, but if you ever met my family, you would learn that my family's big talking family. Always yapping. Maybe that's just me. I do yap quite a bit.
Yap about this, yap about that.
Yap. We just got our next row all transplanted. We've only got 4 more trays of cucumbers, but we've run out of water. So we're gonna head back to the farm, get filled up with water, and we're gonna grab all our zucchini and yellow squash. The progress is looking beautiful. Give it no time, and these pickling cucumbers and regular cucumbers are gonna completely cover this mulch with greenery. Take me back to the farm. That boy can drive.
Traffic out here is terrible. Come on!
Smells like zucchini plants.
I don't think we have enough yellow zucchini.
Yeah, this is all yellow squash, but this yellow zucchini seed, what happened there?
We used old seed that didn't come up too well. But up in the germinating greenhouse, there's a couple 1-inch pots. Maybe, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you get maybe another 5 or 7 pots, that'll be plenty.
How's everything going up in front of the farm market today?
Yeah, it's the first sunny day in a week, so it's pretty darn busy. I gotta get up there with my red basil.
We're getting our tank filled up with water. That's the only thing we're waiting on right now. What we've got on the planter is kind of a mix of a few different things. We've got our leftover cucumbers. We've got our yellow squash. We're gonna grab some yellow zucchini. We've got our regular zucchini. And then up here at the top, we've got some cantaloupe actually that we're gonna be transplanting. We have acorn squash, and then all the way over here we have some butternut squash. Normally in our local area, it's a little early for people to plant acorn and butternut squash, but every single year we get more people in earlier and earlier asking for those types of crops. So if people are gonna come in earlier asking for them, well, we're gonna plant them a little bit earlier, and then we'll be able to provide what they need. Because that's what we do on the farm, right? We're just trying to provide what people need.
That's exactly right. Whatever they want, that's what we do.
This thing's pretty full of water. Who let that happen? Come on, buddy. This is what's gonna stop us from finishing today. I can't get this thing. There we go. Boy, that took forever. How many guys does it take to spin on a cat? 1. It just takes them a long time. Daniel's talking to the peacocks. Alrighty, let's go! We're ready! The refill didn't take that long, but now we've got plenty of plants so that we can finish for the morning. We're all finished with transplanting cucumbers and pickling cucumbers for the day. Now we're moving on to the squash and yellow zucchini and regular zucchini. Now the important thing to keep in mind is we do have quite a bit here, but we're planting exact numbers. So yellow squash, we're gonna put 30 plants in the soil, and then we only have a few of the yellow zucchini, sadly. But then once we get those select numbers put in, we're just gonna do the rest of the green zucchini.
28.
Just a few more then.
29.
There we go. Here's the yellow squash that I'm transplanting. And once I finish off the yellow squash, we've got our yellow zucchini right here. All right, we're ready. One thing I love about this planter is these chairs are nice and low to the ground. It makes this job a lot easier on your back. Not having to bend over is nice. Get your yellow zucchini ready, Daniel. All right, I got 3 more squash. You wanna just throw them in and I'll push them down? That was kind of quick, but there's our yellow squash, our yellow zucchini. Now the rest of the row is green zucchini. These plants are massive, which 1, makes them look nice, but 2, it can make them very difficult to transplant. We gotta make sure we don't break them.
Plant in the zucchini.
Plant in the zucchini.
Plant in the zucchini.
Zucchini planting.
Zucchini planting.
Sometimes it's green.
Sometimes it's yellow.
Sometimes we eat it.
Sometimes we grow it.
Sometimes we plant it.
Sometimes we eat it.
Woohoo!
Zucchini.
Zucchini planting.
Zucchini planting.
This is the zucchini planting song.
We plant zucchini.
And then we eat it.
And then we sing it.
Zucchini song.
All night long.
The zucchini song.
Yeah.
That might be the best song we've ever come up with. I can't believe the twins, they're 15 months already. 15 months, they're walking around the house talking. Lily cries when I leave the house, breaks my heart.
So like chill.
She figured out how to climb on the couch. So like if you're sitting on the couch, she'll just like climb up next to you, sit next to you, and then like just put her hand on you. It's like she just feels so much more comfortable sitting on the couch next to someone. What a beautiful sight. About 3 rows of pickling cucumbers, 2 rows of cucumbers, 1 row of zucchini, yellow squash, and yellow zucchini. I love it. And then what do you have on yours? Acorn squash? Do the butternut, and then we'll do the cantaloupe last.
Yeah.
Well, very good. Very good.
1 acorn and 1 butternut.
Yeah.
All right.
Doesn't matter if you mix them up.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
It matters to me. We're not mixing them. Can you believe this guy up in the tractor? He wants to have absolute chaos in the field, mixing stuff.
I think chaos is fun.
Yeah, well, not today. No chaos. Now, Daniel has all the acorn squash over there, so he's working on planting those. I've got the spaghetti squash. I'm only going to drop one in when we have the likelihood of missing a few. I don't want to get them too mixed up throughout the field because then it becomes a lot harder during harvest time trying to find everything. Oh boy. Dad slowed down. Thank you, Dad. We got the acorn, spaghetti, and butternut squash all planted. We do have some cantaloupe here. We're gonna finish off this row and then move over to another section and finish off with the rest of these cantaloupe. How many you got left? Here? I am just about out. All right, I am out. Oh, look at that. I mean, this one's kind of broken, but let's give it an opportunity. Put that right in there. That's where we're going to be stopping with planting for the day. We're all very excited that we were able to get this much put into the soil. All our cucurbits look really, really good. Now, some people might have a question about this cantaloupe that we had just transplanted. Some of you might be curious as if it was too small to be transplanted. You can see sometimes the plant isn't even poking out of the top of the plastic. You know, it's pretty sunk down in some spots. And truth be told, that's not a bad thing for these cantaloupe. That actually might be beneficial. One thing that this biodegradable mulch does is because of the color, it adds a lot of heat to the ground. So even though it may be cooler, we might have cool nights, from all the sunlight that is absorbed by this mulch throughout the day, it heats up the bed and keeps it a really nice warm temperature. If we had cold nights, the smaller cantaloupe, they wouldn't be affected by it, and also the larger cantaloupe won't be affected too much because of the extra warmth coming from the soil. That extra warmth helps to make sure that each plant has the best opportunity possible to get its roots sunk down into the soil. Now, we are gonna have transplant shock. That happens anytime you transplant something. But this biodegradable mulch that we have, it helps to mitigate a lot of that shock, and very, very shortly we're gonna be doing some more transplanting. The next rows, right beyond our cucurbits, those are gonna be another planting of cucurbits. We're gonna do that about 3 weeks. And then past that, it's gonna be all peppers and tomatoes. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really fun.
So you got habaneros and hot wax and poblanos. Then these 2 rows will be long hots, and then these 2 rows will be hot cherry. And then you got your sweet cherry, your lunchbox, sweet banana, and then Cuban L, Italian L, a whole bunch of other stuff here.
That is our plan mentally, but that's all subject to change because once we get out here and planting, sometimes we just grab stuff because we're so excited. It happens. Just made it in for lunch. Do we got a spread? We are having turkey club sandwiches And then we've also got some watermelon, and the watermelon has been very good. We've got some slushy action going on. We got Aunt Sadie with a slushy, Callie with a slushy. No slushies for the babies, but they're ready to go outside. And then we got the man making all the slushies. How's it going?
Making a life one right now.
Oh, good. The whole family is over at my house right now. I'm cooking dinner for everybody. We usually eat together every Monday night. But tonight we're having burgers. And look who we've got down here. Grammy. She's got her seat on the porch. The last thing I put on the grill here is some portobello mushrooms. Grammy wanted to try some portobello mushrooms today, so we're getting her taken care of. And Ronnie, show them off your new haircut. Woo! Look at that new haircut. Well, everyone, we've now got everything cooked up. It's on the plate. Matthew and Tracy are showing up here in a few minutes with some extra stuff, but they're not here yet. Dad is already diving in. So we got burgers, hot dogs, we got some portobello mushrooms, fresh fruit, and then Mama made a pasta salad. But as you can see, we're all here. We're ready to eat, so that means this is where we're gonna end the video today. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.